Madam Secretary General, I'm Chiora Taktakishvili, member of Georgian Parliament, but a very, let's say, big supporter of Vital Voices. I would like to welcome my big friend, which I met in Washington lastly. I would like to thank American people on your behalf for the help and for the survival of Georgian independence in 2008 August war. On 12th of August, I was awaiting and checking every internet site or television show, awaiting for some response for stopping Russian invasion. And I cannot even proper words to explain how grateful Georgia is for American people for that very decisive action at that time. And I would like also to underline your personal role in underlining and articulating the non-recognition policy of the United States of America, which is essential for the safeguard of the Georgian territorial integrity. I'd like to ask you two questions. One would be more general. What is in your agenda in long and short term to facilitate the return process of the IDPs in their homelands? And secondly, as a member of the Parliament's Gender Equality Council, and the chairperson of the council is also here, Madam Rusudan Kervalishvili, doing a great job in this direction. We would like to seek some advices from your side how the role of the Georgian Parliament and the women in Parliament, but also in society, could be focused in developing relations with the women remaining on occupied parts of Georgia. Thank you.
It's a really good set of questions. You're right. I mean, we, United States was appalled and totally rejected the invasion and occupation of Georgian territory. I was in the Senate at the time, and along with my colleagues and the prior administration, made that view very clear. We continue to speak out, as I have on this trip, against the continuing occupation, and we support the use of the Geneva mechanism, but it needs to be revived and it needs to be intensified, and we intend to try to do that. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that this is an easy problem, because it's not. And therefore, I think there are really a couple of answers. One, the more vibrant, effective a democracy and economy Georgia becomes, the greater contrast there will be between South Ossetia and Abkhazia and the rest of Georgia. So in a way, while we work on the international political front, while we work to try to protect the IDPs as well as the people in the occupied territories, the more Georgia can deal with its own problems, the stronger the case becomes for the people inside those two areas. But your point about people-to-people support and contact is very important. I don't know if there are internet, social network ways of talking with and giving support to people inside South Ossetia and Abkhazia, but I would hope that there were, and that there would be as much contact as possible. There would be as much reaching out, and we will, from our end, certainly do our part to support those efforts. With the IDPs, those that have had to flee their homeland, the United States, I think, has continued to provide humanitarian assistance, which we will also do in the future, because it's a terrible situation where people have been dislodged and displaced from their homes and their businesses and their familiar lives. So we are very conscious of the humanitarian cost there. In the Parliament, I think raising issues in a public way all the time about the IDPs, about others who have been directly affected by the war, is important. But I would go back to where I started. From my perspective, the more Georgia deals with the issues we were talking about before, that Georgia's democracy is more vibrant, Georgia's system of social justice is more effective, Georgia's economy is producing more jobs and incomes rising, that is the greatest answer. That is the rebuke that no one can dispute. And I think focusing on what needs to be done inside Georgia while continuing to try to work on the problems of the people who have been displaced and are occupied. And of course, I would strongly urge that Georgia not be baited or provoked into any action that would give any excuse to the Russians to take any further aggressive movements.